Welcome to StormandO.net, a new way of watching online TV. Yeah, we've been having some fabulous and interesting interviews, and this one right here will be none different. My good friend Willie Redden, they call him Freeze. Willie Redden, how you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful.
How you? Hey, look,
First thing I got to do is make a correction. The name Freeze is a dead thing.
Okay.
It's a dead person. It does not exist
But why is it
anymore.
dead?
Because my life has changed and I have reformed into the life of a follower of Jesus Christ and God Almighty.
You know-
Now I am called Overseer Redding.
But okay, Overseer Redden, that's good. But at some point, you had to get to Overseer Redden at some point. So I'm glad you went right there first.
Oh, I have a story to tell.
Well, tell your story.
My story is I'm from the projects. I'm from a family of 6 brothers and 3 sisters, and so on. And life was not easy.
Okay. I mean, in what way?
And not easy. Period. I was raised during the time of the surplus lines, and the times of Martin Luther King. I knew Martin Luther King. I knew Malcolm X. I knew Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? It was a learning time. It was a period of transaction where I would go from one stage to another stage. And then it was the time of drugs and women.
You know, I mean, in all sincerity, right? Because I know you're in the ministry now.
Yes.
Preaching all that. And I think that you have done an incredible transform your life. And people like us who grew up during those times, I was a lot younger, but I mean, guys like you guys who had the women and had the drugs and all that, young guys in our community looked up to you guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that was during that time.
Right.
I mean, like pimping and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And that was your life.
That was my life.
I mean, how did you get in that lifestyle?
Well, it's not something that you automatically get into. It's something that you found interesting, challenging, and enjoyable. Coming from a life of poverty and so on, these are the things that you had to look forward to doing. You know, I was just one of the lucky ones that got in and got to be good in it.
Mm-hmm. When you say good in it, and you know it's interesting because I'm interviewing different people and I've interviewed some street, and we could be candid, right? I mean, like you were a pimp, right?
At the time.
At that time, right?
Well, not exactly I was a pimp.
Okay.
I was what was known as a master in the art of being a procurer of financial status.
Wow. And that's interesting you say that because we watch those kind of movies and that was the language, right?
It was the language then.
So what would make a woman, right, want to give you her money?
You could never make a woman want to give you her money.
Okay.
A woman do these things because they desire to do. You know what I'm saying? A master of the art of pimping or procuring some type of financial status from a woman is because she chooses to do this. You never choose a woman always choose you.
Wow.
Some
I think I
they
remember
have
seeing you on a horse. Did you ride a
I,
horse?
I had several horses.
And you rode through the neighborhood.
I rode through the city of Wilmington, the first black man that ever did that.
Wow. And they actually had a players' ball, right?
Right? And I won several awards for the Players' Ball.
And that means
That means that I was a master of the art of procuring financial status from a lady that wanted to choose me to do what she ever wanted me to do.
What made you change? What made you get out of that life?
My children and my grandchildren.
Wow.
I found myself wanting to be a pillar of my community.
Okay.
Wanting for my grandkids to say, my grandfather does this and he was that, but he is this now.
Okay.
First thing, when I joined Swackham Temple as a Shriner, it was a big help to my life
Okay.
because the community work that they do in the community. Then I joined the Masons.
Okay.
Also helps the communities and so on, which though you are a brother of the Masons like I am, and so on. And people have different philosophies on the Shriners and the Masons, but the truth of it is, in the black culture of Shriner and nature, and Masons, we help the communities.
Right. And let me ask
We're nonprofit.
you know, when you look back on your life, right, because this is an interesting story, and I'm glad that you felt compelled to open up to us on StormandO.net. Is there anything that you say, I wish I would have did this differently?
No, because I think everything I did then was God's way of training me to be the man that I am now.
Wow.
You know, and I take all the learning and all the adventures and all the traveling that I did during that period of time. Now I put it into good use with the family that I have because God has blessed me with the knowledge and wisdom and understanding of different things and so on. And then he gave me a present, the glorious, lovely wife that a man could have. And she's my partner in everything. Her name is Joyce Redden, Joyce H. Redden.
How long have you guys been married?
Well, we've been married now 17 years, but we dated in the early 70s. So we've been knowing each other over 40-some years and so on.
So you've seen some stuff in your life, son.
I've been everywhere and did everything.
Wow.
And I'm ex everything that's consists of being a part of the devil.
Wow. So the whole drug game, the whole pimping game, I mean, you've seen it all.
I did it all.
Wow.
I have been a little bit of everything except for rape, kidnap, and murder. There's only two things that will happen to you in the pimping life, drug life, and life of doing criminal acts and so on. That's death or jail. There's the only thing that's going to happen. You cannot get away from or around it. I've been to jail several times during my life of doing wrong, and it's not good. And it's not good.
But you're doing some incredible stuff now. You know, even when you came to my office about the turkeys, you know, giving them to your church, I find that commendable, and I appreciate that kind of stuff you're doing.
Well, we have started our own church with the pastor, Dina Wilson, with her help and teaching and help and teachings from God Almighty through his son, Jesus Christ. I have learned to help others.
Wow.
And I appreciate you inviting me to this program to tell the partial story that I have, because I could sit here all day and tell you things unbelievable, and they would all be true.
You can say whatever you want.
They would all be
mean,
true.
You know, on this show, Willie, to be honest, I mean, on Storm No, that's what this is about. This forum is to let you say whatever you feel in your heart, whatever you don't feel.
Okay, let me take you way back, way back. Stormy Normie's mother and I were friends too. I knew his grandparents, both of them, his grandfather and grandmother. We lived in the same block and so on. We have always been friends and so on. And he has always had a wonderful mother. She was always a wonderful person. And she was like my mother, raising kids without their father and so on. And the story that I would tell would be, give something to God. If you don't give anything to God, life can be pretty hard for you, because that's the only thing that you have going for you. The only hope of a chance of life is giving something to God, whoever you may think your God is, because we all have a God of our likeness that we feel, though, can help us out of our things and our trouble and our mess, and he will, because he helped me out of my mess. You say, how do you know that there's a God? Because he got up in me. And when he got up in me, of all the people that I've ever met and known in my life, he changed me, so I know he can change you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.